Kyllä lähtee.
Kyllä lähtee.
At Rally Legends, I caught up with Juha Kankkunen to talk about his wonderful career in the WRC. All the way from Group B, Group A to World Rally Cars. Juha's done it all. If you go back earlier, was it your dad that got you into rallying then, with his rallying with Cortinas and stuff?
Yes. He had Lotus Cortina at the time and GT Cortina after, or GT first and Lotus after. And he was doing ice circuit races.
Oh, right, okay.
He never did rallies, really.
Got you.
But he was really good on the ice circuit, and he did something like 150 races in his career, ice circuit races.
Yeah.
And he won, I can't remember how many, but a lot of them. So he was really good on the ice circuit races. At the time, of course, we were interested. He was doing ice circuit races, but at the time he was organizing, he was one of the leading guys, in the Rally Finland as well.
Yeah.
In Jyväskylä area, all the Finnish automobile club, and he was of the one stage or two stages, and taking part of the organizing. And Mikkola and Mäkinen, especially Timo Mäkinen, he visited to our farm. They were good friends with my father. Right. So of course, when you see this kind of guys, oh, wow. Okay. I want to be something like that. And Pauli Toivonen, his wife, they were in the university in Jyväskylä. They were sitting behind each other.
All right.
Pauli's wife, Ulla.
Yeah.
So there was a connection because Pauli was in Jyväskylä as well. Uh-huh. Henry was born in Jyväskylä, but then they moved to Järvenpää to near Helsinki.
Okay.
They moved their job, but Pauli was beginning his car career and things in Jyväskylä as well. Mm-hmm. So there was a strong connection for the old boys.
Yes.
At the time. So I wanted to be as well. Yeah. So father was keen, to drive himself the ice circuit races. And I remember we had escort at the time. I was 11 years old, 12, something like that. I beat him first time with the same car on the ice circuit.
So driving really early then?
Yes.
My God.
Yes, because I was tall enough then to manage to, the pedals and stuff. So I beat him, and then he said that, I don't believe it, we try again tomorrow. And we tried again, and I beat him again. And then he said, now boy, the thing is so that if you beat me, then I think my time is time to stop and I start teaching you how to drive, because if you bloody teach me, and I have been driving 150 ice circuit races and I know how to drive. So that is the difference, then why it changed so that, and I was very interested, I was very keen to learn and drive. And let's say that the fathers' boys and farmers, they have always advantage, like Tommy or Markus or myself and things, because you are in the farm.
Yeah.
You are driving grass cutters, tractors, cars.
Yeah.
You have a chance to drive, everything moves.
Yeah, sure.
So you have much better chance than Wellsboy or middle of the town or something to start driving.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, it helps you.
No, it's perfect.
And Finland roads and places. You have good roads just right next to the farm and
always and all gravel roads.
Always the gravel roads, winter time, snowy roads.
Yeah.
And things like that.
So,
but of course, you need to be talented. My younger brother is 1 year younger than me. Timo is 8 years younger. But Timo is medium, but only hardly can keep the car on the road. I mean,
no talent at all.
No, we have 1 year difference.
Yeah.
So it is, but he's talented on the other things.
Sure, that's different. But what was your first competition car?
Ford Escort 2000 RS Mark 1 Group 2.
Was it really?
Yes.
And what was the first rally then?
Eskilstuna Rally in Sweden.
God, you can remember even.
Yes.
How did you get on?
Very well. We were start number was 63 or something like that, and I finished 6th overall and won the class by half an hour or something like that, the junior class.
Kyllä lähtee.
Kyllä lähtee. I was fastest on 2 stages overall.
Yeah.
With number 63, you know.
Yeah.
They were looking at who the hell is this guy? That cannot be true, you know, that he comes from the junior class and he make best time overall to the States.
Just to let people know, Kula latte. We always used to use it in the car.
Yeah.
Kula latte means now it starts.
Now it starts.
More or less.
Let's go.
So, but then, did you stick with this for a few years then?
Just 1 year. I did junior. You needed points at the time to get from the junior class to the overall class.
Right. Okay.
So I did 3 races and won all of them by a lot anyway. And then jumped to and then I did few rallies with that one, but then started to be so tired that I changed it to, at the time, RS 2000 Mark II Group 1 was very popular car and fast enough for the starter boy anyway.
Yeah, sure.
So I changed it to that, and I had few of them. Changed them, you know, when I crashed few of them, and sorry about that, but it's part of the game anyway.
But, you know, after a few years, obviously, then you jumped into the world scene, and
79,000 Lakes was my first World Championship rally, yes.
And that was good too.
That was good, yes. Finished 14 overall and second in the Group 1, and I would have won. I was leading it by quite a lot, but I rolled and lost a couple of minutes, but then I was second by 25 seconds, something like that. So, but anyway, the result was good.
I know.
Yeah.
But then, I've got a hole in your career from that rally to then suddenly being in TTE car, in a Group B car, factory team, and you did Safari, wasn't it? Was it Safari, your first rally with TTE?
No, I did some rallies in Finland first, and first World Championship rally was actually 83 Portugal.
So when you went after that,
79, I went to Finnish Army, where I spent 1 year. Of course, in the army time, you don't have that much money to run, so I didn't drive very much at the time.
Okay.
Nothing actually in a year. And I was in the Finnish Army, and when I came out from the army, I already before I went, I beat Timo Joukki in few rallies by quite a lot. And so he contacted me when I finished the army that, hey, I have a Group 2 PDA for escort, that would you like to drive a couple of rallies with that one, with Piironen? And I said, yes, of course, if it's possible, because he was waiting, you know, me to do the army service first. And then I did these 2 rallies. I didn't win. We were leading, but once, what we had some petrol pump problem or whatever, but we finished second both of them. And Antero Laine at the time was the fastest Finnish guy to drive anyway, so we were just behind him. Beating all the, and you know, the Finland, the level is quite...
It is high.
It's high.
Yeah, I could imagine.
And there is Audi Quattro started to be 83, I think, so with PDA you had to drive quite well to try to compare with them. And I did those, and then Timo said that, hey, this is good boy, and he bought Group A Opel Manta, and then, can't remember even the year, I think it was 82. Yeah, 81 we did with PDA some rallies, and I did quite a lot in Finland and won a lot of them. And then he wanted me to go outside because he said it's waste of time that if you win 100 rallies even here in Finland, it doesn't mean anything, you have to go out. And he bought this Manta, and then we went, and Boucle de Spa was the first rally in Belgium, and hadn't to be snowy condition there, and so I finished 6th overall and won the Group A by I think 52 minutes or something like that, or 28. Doesn't matter, but
it was
quite a lot anyway.
Yeah. It was a different rally.
It was a little bit different.
Yeah.
And then did some rallies. I was leading RAC the Group A, you remember, before the engine blew by half an hour or something like that.
Yeah.
82.
So was
and
it these
I did quite a lot of those rallies. And then Toyota contact. Uwe contact. And Timo was talking, and the Finnish importer didn't want to take any risk, you know, about the car and things. Jouki said, no problem. I take the risk. Let's give the car to the boy. And they gave me the Group 4 car first. Right. And I did 4 rallies in Finland, won all of them. And then I got Turbo Celica to 83 to Finland rally. And I think I can't remember, finished 6th or something, whatever, 7th, somewhere around that.
Yeah.
Which one was not bad.
Yeah.
And then they wanted me. Then it's all started basically.
Yeah.
84 and 85 was a good year. I won both African events and things. And
yeah. I mean,
but that is the like between. So I was actually 1 year without driving at all because the army service is army service anyway. So.
Yeah. But then in 1986 with TT 83, 4 and 5 winning Safari Rally, which is our favourite anyway.
Yes.
It's mine.
Yes,
I know yours.
Yes.
And Ivory Coast and these events. But then 86 was the turning point, wasn't it?
That was turning point for the career. Let's say 85 already. When you won the Safari, you knew what you are going to do when you grow up. It changed quite a lot, but 86 was a different world.
Tell the people about your first test with them. Remember you told me about the guy who the engineer was obsessed with power, nothing else. And he said, was the power good? Do you remember the engineer telling you that? When he said, we have more power.
Oh yes.
We have more power if we want.
Yeah. What do you think? How the pressure goes? At first, when I accelerated, bloody hell, I had a headset on. First gear, second gear, the headset went. Okay, 960 kilos and 500 or something like that.
Yeah.
And the engineer was worried about that. Sorry. But what do you think about the power? That we have more power if you need. I said, no, this is more than enough. That feels okay for me. Then.
But jumping from a, I know it's 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
But these Group B cars were special in their day, weren't they?
They were.
I mean, a lot of power. What was the handling like on these cars?
Was good actually. You had to have different style to drive it, but the suspension and brakes, let's say that at the time they were good because you didn't have any better. Yeah. But if you jump nowadays cars and compare to those cars, day and night difference. But they were okay. But you know, you had to drive them. Let's say like Peugeot, you have to drive them. You couldn't drive them all the time flat out. There was so much power. Yeah. Plus, you were destroying the tires. We got new tires to every stage, but still, you could flow them and finish them in 10 kilometers, so you are still another 20 to go.
My God!
So you couldn't go flat out the stage. You had to think the whole stage. That the tires will last to the end and things like that.
So you had to be a clever driver.
Clever driver.
Not a fast driver.
No, and with those cars, they were so fast that you couldn't go flat out with those everywhere, you know, and things. You had to, there was a limit compared to nowadays cars that you start basically flat out from the first meter to the last meter, you go all the time.
Yeah, maximum.
Just maximum.
Yeah.
There's differences that you had reserve power, but you couldn't use all the time the power you had. Because you didn't have, brakes were not really a problem, not even on asphalt, but suspension and things, they were not that good at the time, you know, that so that you just couldn't. You had to drive like the car goes.
Yeah. Just had to
That
use
was the
it.
Toyota Celica twin cam turbos strongest point was, the engine was really good on that.
Yeah.
Powerful enough for the light car.
Yeah.
Even it was two-wheel drive, but the suspension and it was so strong.
Yeah.
And that was the key question and key thing in Africa.
Yes.
That even there were Audis and Peugeots and things, 85 and those years against the Toyota, we had no problem at all.
You could go fast.
We could go much faster.
Yeah.
A lot faster than them.
But in '86, of course, you won the championship. That was your first world championship, wasn't it? Like you said, it was unheard of for somebody to jump in a four-wheel drive car and win for the first time out.
Yeah.
But out of that season...
Yeah, there was only 4 Group B world champions anyway.
Yes. Yeah.
Stig and Hannu and Timo and myself.
Yeah.
Because that was only the period, where the Group B was driven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, was it that year that there was a lot of upset with drivers about Group B and the rallies were dangerous and stuff? Or did that all start in '85? I can't remember exactly.
Not 85 really, 86.
86 it started.
And started basically Portugal, where we all stopped and went home because of all the accidents. There were so many deaths, in the Sintra area. And Santos went off with RS200 and there were, I can't remember how many
there was
deaths,
a lot.
but a lot, and 20 injured or whatever and things. And I had fingers in my Peugeots, the air intakes on the back and at the service, trying to touch the car on 200 km an hour with the hand.
Gee.
So there was no point. That was more than enough.
But from the driver's point of view at that time, was it the cars or was it the rallies and the spectators that caused the issues?
Spectators basically, because they were just on middle of the road. The cars were dangerous. No, I don't think. I never saw them dangerous. You have the pedals there. You have brake pedal as well. So they were the best cars at the time anyway.
Yeah, sure.
But the people were crazy. There were so many of them. Plus at the time there was no control. Like you have seen, or the spectators have seen the old films. They close the road straight away behind you, open just in front of you. And things. I mean, it's really scary to drive.
Yeah, it was like that right the way up to 2000, more or less.
More or less, exactly.
But how did you feel about Group B being banned at the end of that year then? I guess, was it a bit of a shock?
It was a little bit of shock, yes, basically. It was a big step, maybe a little bit too big. For our mind, it was too big. It would have been a little bit softer. But I went, then to test the Lancia, which one was the 87, the best Group A car at the time.
Yes.
Let's say. And jumped from the Lancia with Peugeot, and we did the Monte Carlo test with Piironen. And then I started driving, and Piironen said to me that, hey, try now how it goes. I have been flat out last kilometer already. Okay, that's going to be a long year. Yeah. We will spend half of the time on the special stages then.
Yes.
So the step was quite big, feeling after from Peugeot to jump to the Group A car. And he said, no, let's go. I said, I have been the last kilometer already. Flat out.
Was it really? Well, coming from a Group B car.
Yes.
So, but there was nothing else.
I had a Supra still from Toyota. I had from Peugeot I had. But anyway, Celica Turbo Supra, and my normal road car was faster than the first Group A car.
But there was nothing else at that time, was there? Group A?
Mazda came, and then Ford, of course, with the Sierra Cosworth.
And then Audi with 200.
Big 200. But that was a bit too big.
Yeah,
yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
But again, that was your second world championship back to back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But But then I suppose, we were then back to some normality, into an era of rallying, which I think is arguably the strongest, because Group A lasted for 10 years.
Yes.
It's been the biggest.
And they were improving all the time.
Yeah.
And you remember, they were good cars to drive.
Yeah.
They were nice cars, like Celica example was really, and fast enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
and that's what will happen, I think, in the future also, that it comes too expensive to make the Rally 1 cars. So there must be something between, let's say, Rally 2 and Rally 1 in the future, to the factories that keep the cost somewhere, that it doesn't go to the sky anyway.
Yes, yeah. And that's where we are. Really.
And you get some more teams.
Yeah, that's
as
important.
well.
But did you join Toyota in 1998?
Yes, 98 and 99.
Right. And then that was with 185, because it wasn't
165.
Yeah, 165. It wasn't a great time, was it?
No, that was not really a nice. It was okay. The car was not bad, but there were so many technical things and problems and braking, and I broke 16 engines in the row and things like that, and then I went back to Lancia for 3 years, but then Lancia stopped 92. But then 185 Celica was, let's say that, even if you think about Group B cars or whatever, but that was the best car to drive in my career, compare the times.
Yeah.
You can't compare Peugeot to 185 or later Focus World Rally car or whatever I drove last.
Yeah.
And things you can't. There is generation difference,
Yeah, of course, there always will be.
But 185 is still. Subaru was nice to drive as well.
Yeah.
Really nice. But that was 10 years later, maybe almost, and so the time changes.
But you won just before Lancia packed in. 91, you won the World Championship again with them. But then you went back to Toyota in 93, wasn't it?
Yes.
And now 93, that's why we're here at Rally Legends to celebrate 30 years ago. My God, where's that time
exactly.
gone?
How old are we, eh?
You had a couple of years on me, but anyway, it was, I always remember. How well do you remember 93?
Very well, still.
I mean, we both had the same manager in Mike Greasley.
Yes.
And I always remember having a conversation with him in December about the possibility of joining somebody, and it was all secret. And anyway, in the end, you stuck with Piro, didn't you?
Yes.
And that was fine. And then I went to co-drive for Armin Schwarz in the World Championship with Mitsubishi. But 1993 as a year was memorable for a lot of good things, but also some bad things as well. Yeah. With poor old Piro.
Yeah, exactly.
Well. I mean, you started.
But he had his mind something. He started to be, tired for co-driving and things, and I think he was thinking about
retiring, kind of.
Yeah, kind of thing.
And I always remember that. You won Safari, I think, and some good solid results that year.
Good solid results.
And I remember being at home in in June, and I was in bed. Shaz was in work, and I had a phone call from Mike, and he said, "How do you fancy doing Argentina?" And I said, "Yeah, I'd love to." But I said, "Hang on, the recce's already started."
Yes,
isn't
it was. Yes,
and
the rally is in few days, basically starting.
And he said, "Well, listen, it's good news and it's bad news." And you had already started the recce.
Yes.
And you were telling me we were in Portal del Lago Hotel.
Yes, Portal del Lago. Yes, Carlos Paz.
And you said that Piro didn't turn up for dinner in the evening.
Yeah.
Which was unusual.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
And then you thought, okay, maybe he's doing something.
Yeah.
And then in the morning?
No, in the night when I came back, he was still. They said that nobody's seen him. Then the bell was ringing that, hey, something, I have to go to check now. Right. And then I went to the room and found him there, and then straight away to the hospital. And
fortunately for Piro, there was the best brain surgeon in the world was in
very
Cordoba.
lucky in Cordoba at the time.
Yeah. So that saved his life.
That saved his life, definitely.
So if you hadn't have gone and seen him that night, then
he
would have died.
Died in the night, so sure.
Oh my God, that's lucky.
No, we were lucky, you know. That. But I was thinking that, you know, that's not normal. Because when you are working together and going together and you are always talking and you know that we have a dinner that time and things. And if something, you know, that he doesn't come up to eat and not even out from the room, then you start thinking that something is
not right.
Better to check anyway.
Yes, yeah, which was good. But then, of course, contract with Mitsubishi sorted, and then I had to jump on the plane. I went and saw my wife in the car park of her work, give her a kiss and a hug, and bye, sweetheart, I'm away now. And I always remember picking up a ticket to go fly to Paris. In Paris, picked up my ticket, first class ticket. Wow! Now I'm in the big time.
Now it's.
And I remember I couldn't sleep. I flew overnight, and then I eventually arrived at Villa Calas Pass. And we've got 2 cups of coffee here. When I got there was a table full of coffee cups and cigarette in the ashtray and road books and pace note books, and you said, come on, let's go.
Let's go.
And
because I did with the first leg, Piro did the notes. No, we did the notes all. We had notes.
Yes, I think so.
We had pace notes. And then I did, waiting for you, 2 days, recce with Martin Christie.
Yes.
Regardless co-driver.
Yes.
You know, he was reading the notes for me, and he borrowed. Jorge said, I know the stages by heart, so no problem.
Take him.
Because I asked, take him, that he comes to read the notes to you on the recce.
But we managed to get round every stage at least twice anyway.
Yes.
And then we flew up to Tucumán, and we did the super special, and we were fastest on this stage.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, I'm leading my first World Championship rally. But then from that point on, we never lost the lead.
No, we were leading up to the end.
We controlled the whole thing. And it was like a dream come true. I just couldn't get over the whole experience. And then, of course, we went and did New Zealand straight off the back, flew over the South Pole to go to Auckland. And I always remember going to a stage called Motu. Do you remember that?
Oh, I remember it. Horrible stage.
Corner.
Celica was not good on that kind of road.
No.
First gear, second gear, all the time.
Yeah.
When it was fast, you remember, then it was
good.
That was really good.
Yeah. And I remember getting to the end of that stage, and you said, how was it? I said, well, McRae has just taken almost 1 minute out of us.
Yeah.
And you looked at me and you said, very good.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was the end of the rally.
What can you say?
No, nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, he just got into the rhythm.
He got to the right thing. And he did it 100% right.
Yeah, and fair play.
Yeah.
But then if I had one regret in my life, was not being able to win 1,000 Lakes.
Oh yes.
And I had to go back to Mitsubishi.
Yes, you had to, you know.
And you took Denis
Giraudet for that rally.
For that rally. And then you went on and won it.
Yeah.
And then all the years after then, we had problem after problem. Do you remember? But
so unlucky.
Yes. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. But then we went on and we won Australia. You bought my contract out.
Yeah.
And then we went and did Australia, and we won. We did some solid results on every other event.
Yeah.
And then by the time we
managed to, in Australia, the manufacturing championship, that was enough to win the Toyota, the first one in history.
Yes.
And Catalonia, we were third. We were supposed to be third, that I win my drivers. And
we did.
We did that.
And then we came to RAC.
Yeah.
And it was ice and
that
snow.
let's say maybe the most difficult rally that I have ever done in my life.
Yeah.
Even compared to Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah. The conditions were
treacherous, weren't they?
Oof.
I don't think we've ever had conditions that bad since or before.
Or before. I think so, yeah.
And, you know, in fairness, Colin McRae was going like hell again.
Yeah.
But I always remember he went off in Pandashaw in Kielder, and then he just handed it to us.
Yeah.
And I remember that we were in the lead by 2.5 minutes or something. And I always remember coming back into Yorkshire, and we hit a gate post and smashed all the rear wing, but the car was okay. And then we went into a 52-mile stage in Dalby.
Yeah.
And we were going in there, and I was all nervous leading my home rally. And you said, "How far have we got to go?"
Yeah.
I said, "Wait, what's the problem? What's the problem?"
Yes, you know. What is the problem? No, Nicky, nothing. Everything is 100%.
Yeah, yes. It's just that I just need to know if I can take a bit more
little
risk.
bit more risk, you know, that not to have a puncture, you know, there. Because I knew that we are going to make quite a good time there anyway.
Yeah. But we did get through that stage and won my first home rally as well. So, I mean, I have to say that for that first year, and a championship win, your last championship win, which is why we're here in Rally Legends to celebrate it, was probably, like I said, memorable, but for good and bad.
Yeah.
But then, of course, we went to Toyota, stick with Toyota in 84, and Uwe persuaded you to go 205 Celica, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was I mean, I can understand from your side, but it was a difficult car. That was hell, wasn't it?
You saw it. That car was really...
At the start it was terrible, and the super strut suspension was steering like this before turning the wheel.
Yeah, exactly.
And I always remember it was a bloody big struggle for you.
Yes, it was.
But I want to talk about 1984, because we were in a 185 Celica, and this was our first 1,000 lakes together. We did
Bloody hell, and I did the mistake at home.
But I want to talk about the stage before Lankamer. It was
Valkola. Tommy's home stage. Tommy's farm is there.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, on the recce, I did 2 days of the 7-day recce or something, and you said, that's it, you had finished.
Yes.
Notes are good.
Yeah.
You were going to play golf with Seppo.
Yeah.
Shit, this is my first rally with you. I've got to get this right. And I was panicking, thinking, my God, this is going to be the ride of my life. So that was it. I only did 2 days, and you went off with Tommy and
with the guys.
With the guys driving.
No, because I remember all the stages, you know.
Yeah.
The notes were perfect, and I remember I just wanted to check myself, you know, that the lines are just right, you know, that we are jumping is okay, but we are landing also to the place where I wanted it to come.
Yeah. But can you remember Valkola stage and how you scared the living daylights out of me in this Valkola stage?
I can't remember anymore.
We went, it's a stick in my mind forever. And this was my first ever stage in Finland with you. We started down a fast road, right-hand corner, hairpin left, narrow road.
Yeah. A
little forest road.
Yeah.
Trees cut.
Yeah, exactly, the loop.
Yes.
On the forest, a very narrow city road there. Yeah.
And we came down medium right.
Yeah.
And 90 left.
Yeah.
90 right, and then a long corner.
Yeah.
And we're coming down to this medium right. I go medium right and 90 left. And then all I could sense was, hang on, he's going too fast, you know, and I was in a complete panic. Next minute, we went straight through all these bushes.
Yes.
And we'd missed the medium right, the 90 left. He just went straight through all these bushes.
Yes.
And we came out there, so trying to catch up. And we get to the end of the stage. I said, Jesus, what happened? What happened there?
Yeah.
Oh, terribly sorry. I forgot to tell you about that.
Because my friend lives there, and it's a huge parking place. It has just this long grass there, but it's just flat area, you know, where they store the luggages normally.
Yeah. Right, okay.
Yeah, so the road goes like that, but it's just open area.
Yeah.
So I thought that, okay, we do it just like one corner.
Well, we went straight through it, panicked the hell out of you. You said, oh, I'm terribly sorry. I didn't tell you about that.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
I should have.
That is the worst one. It's
Yeah.
okay. And then we went to Lancashire, past the farm, your farm.
Yeah.
Now this was your home stage. I have to say, it was some experience to do the first part of Lancashire. And then we came to a corner, sandy road, over a crest. Oh, poof, bang, rolled.
Yeah.
And then there was this guy came
Yeah.
to the window.
Yeah.
And I thought he was going to punch you.
Punch me, yeah. Yeah.
And do you remember who it was?
My brother.
Yeah. And it was on your land.
Yes, my own land. But that's how it happens sometimes.
But I remember. But there was good that came from
But I
it.
think that year, if he did it, I did the mistake, not him. But didn't do the mistake, we would have won by a lot.
Yeah, I think so.
Easily, basically.
Yeah, because I always remember eventually dragging this car through 2 or 3 stages, repairing it as we went.
Yeah.
And then you had to get the help of a policeman to get us to the rival in time.
Yeah.
He led us there on his motorbike.
Yeah.
Then we had 4-wheel drive, but the car was twisted at the back.
Yes,
Do you remember?
Yes. The
And
rear
then
wheel was like this.
Yeah, and then we went to Moimpa.
Yeah.
The most difficult stage to drive in the world, I would say.
It is one of those, though, basically maybe the most difficult one.
Fast jumps in corner, mid-corner.
Much more difficult than Onipohja or something like that.
Yeah. And we get to the end, and you said, how was it? And I said, wow, I said, it was fastest. I said, how was the car? He said, oversteers a little bit one way, but not too bad.
Yeah.
I said, well, obviously it's not too bad. But then after that, we were last overall going in there, I remember.
Yes, yeah.
And then it was fastest time.
Yeah.
And we ended up 9th or something.
Yes, something like that. Top 10 anyway.
Yeah, it was a remarkable experience.
Yeah.
And I realized at that point, that, it was the most undramatic but dramatic rally ever, because you knew exactly where to put the car.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. By centimeter, let's say.
It was remarkable, and I always remember it wasn't, maybe it was Oinimpoja, and there was one section, at that time we started up near on the north and we went south.
Yeah.
And you said, right here at this crest, you see that tree on the hill? You aim for that tree.
Yeah.
And, that just summarized how technical this rally was.
Yeah.
It was, if you were to be fast, you had to use other things to guide you a little bit.
Yeah.
And, it was remarkable. But the 205 wasn't so good. And,
No.
And then we had all that.
I never liked that car.
No. And then, of course, we had...
If we would have Corolla after 185,
yes.
that would have been
the kit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, there was a lesson learned there. There was an engineer desperate to prove the performance of the 205.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as fast, was it?
No.
In all the back-to-back tests, the 185 was always faster.
Always faster. Always. Every condition.
Yeah. And that he was just desperate to prove how good the car was. And his one way to do it, in the end, was to cheat.
Yeah.
Do you remember we never used, when we went to Australia that year, we were doing okay in the championship and we didn't win anything. We weren't capable of winning anything with the car, but it was always maybe top 3, top 5.
Yeah, somewhere there.
Collected a lot of points.
Yeah.
And then we went to Australia and we were 2nd overall. And we went to the Super Special, I remember, in Langley Park in Perth.
Yeah.
And Gert Dix came to us and said, right, boys, 5 seconds before you start, I want you to flick this switch.
Yeah.
And that, okay, fine. We didn't know anything, did we?
No idea.
We just told to drive.
Yeah.
And then on the start line, with Armin Schwarz maybe in an Esk or somebody, whoosh, we were immediately in front.
Yeah. No, it was Colin, I think.
Was it Colin?
Colin, it was. Yeah.
And woof, we were in front.
Yeah.
But the problem is, the service park was there.
Yeah.
There was everybody was there. Everybody could see, wait a minute, what's going on here? Talk about, if we'd have used it on any other stage, nobody would have known.
No. no.
But that's when the rot started, didn't it? And then we got caught.
Yeah.
The team got caught out in thing, which was a bad time for Toyota. But I think the team came back stronger and better after that, at least. Yeah. And it was just the act of a desperate engineer, really, that did this.
Yeah.
And it's no reflection on the team or Toyota themselves. But, you know, at least that car was finished with then.
Yes, it was then.
And then, of course, after that, we went into World Rally Cars then.
Yeah.
Which was the start of bigger and better things, wasn't it?
Yeah, sure.
And the Subaru you liked, though?
I liked the Subaru. And even the Ford wasn't bad. It was nice to drive. Very good to drive. Only weak point was the engine was not
powerful
enough.
And then what about the Hyundai, the early accent?
Medium, let's say, that time. Now it is good, but I was sure that it will be good one day.
Yeah.
But you know, they were just started from zero, and the accent chassis wasn't really nice to to build a rally car as a rally car.
Yeah.
You can't just build any car to be a rally car. Then the chassis wasn't good enough.
No. And that really, at that point, was the Hyundai the last time of you competing in the World Championship, I think, wasn't it?
Yes, 2002. Yeah.
Do you have any events you wish you'd won that you hadn't won, or? I think you won most things,
really,
didn't you?
Most of them, yeah. Good enough.
Yes, I think so. Just one last thing. If we talk, in the middle of all this lot, there was 1988, I think. Did you do some Paris-Dakar and you did Pikes Peak with Peugeot?
Yes, Peugeot. 88. Paris-Dakar, yeah, both of them.
What was that experience like?
Nice. But let's say that I'm not really a desert man to go to the desert. I didn't really, let's say that, so enjoy it so much than World Championship, special stage rallies.
Yeah.
It was good experience to be in the professional team and to see it, but I was not fancy about that. I like to do it 10 years or whatever. No chance.
Yeah.
Pikes Peak was good. Pikes Peak I wanted to do more, but I had never chance to get the good car to there and to do. That was a nice race. That I liked a lot.
Because that was uphill. Was it all gravel then?
All gravel that time, yes.
Yeah, now it's all tarmac.
All tarmac,
Changed such a lot.
Exactly.
But listen, great career, great times. 4-time champion, it can't be bad, you are.
No.
Listen, thanks for the chat.
Thanks.
Kiitos, yeah.
Kiitos.